Welcome to Informational Writing. Instead of calling this a certain day, I'm going to go by the lessons that we're following. We're going to call this Lesson 7. Lesson 7 is setting goals. So our essential question for today is, what goals can you set for yourself to improve your informational writing? So as an author, you should always be working to improve your work. Even professional writers and authors are looking for ways to become better writers. And the best way to become a better writer is to ask for feedback. You can look for feedback from peers, from your teacher, from me, from your parents, from someone else, and use their advice to improve your writing. And writers don't get upset about feedback. It doesn't mean they're bad writers. All feedback is good because it helps you become an even better writer. So last week, at the beginning of the week, you wrote an informational or a beginning of unit informational paper. And as I read your papers, I was pretty excited because there are a lot of really good ideas and a lot of really good details, and I was impressed by your writing abilities. So what we're going to do today is talk about a rubric that will help you make sure you have all the important parts of an informational writing paper when we get started on writing our next drafts, or our first drafts, I guess, of our informational research paper. So some of these skills you're already doing really well, and there are some skills that you're just starting to develop, and there might be even a few skills that you haven't really thought about yet as a writer. So what we're going to do is go over the rubric today together, and then on Seesaw you're going to go in and mark some goal areas for your writing. And when I say goal areas, what I mean are areas that you want to focus on as you start drafting your informational writing papers. So the first thing on our informational writing checklist is overall writing ability. So did you teach the reader about a subject? Did you put in ideas and observations and questions? The lead means the introduction. Did you write a beginning or an introduction that got the reader ready to learn about your subject? And when I say did you, I mean these are things we're going to work on and things that you need to focus on as you start writing informational papers. Transitions. Do you know about using sequence words such as before, after, then, and later, or words like however, to transition from one thought to another? Do you know how to write an ending that drew conclusions or asked questions, or maybe suggested ways readers should respond to your paper? And then the next area is organization. Did you group your information into parts? Were each of the parts about one, topic or idea that connected to your overall topic? So these are all under the category structure, and we're going to talk about these as we begin writing. Under development, we have two areas: elaboration, which means facts, details, information, and observations. Did you include specific details to help expand on your writing? And then craft. When we're writing about informational topics, you have to use specific words that relate to your topic. It's not just a story about what you did one time. You have to use specific vocabulary and maybe include drawings or captions or diagrams or other text features to help your reader understand what you're writing about. The third category is conventions. So really falls down to spelling. Did you spell correctly in your final draft? And did you check and edit your paper before you wrote your final draft? And the last category is punctuation. Did you use commas, periods, question marks? Did you put punctuation at the end of every sentence? And is your writing smooth? Does it vary the length of the sentences so that some parts go really quickly and some parts take longer? Or is your writing really choppy with like 5-word sentences over and over and over again? Or did you start all your sentences with the same word or in the same style? So what you want to do is write in different ways so that your reader flows through the story or your paper from start to finish. So these are the things that I am going to use to grade your informational writing. These categories are going to be what I use to mark your paper when you are finished. So it's okay to have not yet or starting to as you begin writing your informational paper. But what you're going to do today is go to Seesaw, and you're going to have this rubric in Seesaw or checklist, and you are going to circle 3 areas that you want to focus on as we begin this informational writing unit that will help you become a better writer. And as a little hint for future writing or future classes of any kind, if your teacher ever gives you a checklist or a rubric to use for an assignment, that teacher is telling you, hey, this is what I'm going to use to grade your paper or your assignment. So make sure you read it and do what the checklist has on it or the rubric has on it, because then you will get a better grade and you will make sure you meet the requirements of the assignment. So that's it for today's video. Go to Seesaw, look through the rubric, choose 3 areas that you want to focus on, highlight them or circle them on Seesaw, and then we will use this rubric later as we write our papers to make sure we're including all the necessary parts and information.